So talk to us about nonprofits, right? You and Joe Beats, how did you guys end up meeting?
At the WRIU 90.3 radio station. He was also a radio DJ. We kind of started at the same time, so we were just learning how to do stuff at the station. And he eventually got into record digging and putting together some beats. He got some pointers from other producers of how to do that. And he used he didn't have a sampler. He used a DAW on a computer, which was like most people never would have messed with for beats, but he was very good at that. And that's how he learned, and that's how he built.
Oh, wow. So he was using the digital audio workstation way in advance.
Yeah, 99. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and he didn't want people to know that because people, he thought, and it was true. Like people would say it was nerdy and fake, and that's not what a real producer does.
Oh, you didn't use the MPC. Or
yeah,
like
yeah. Oh, you're not pushing buttons, bro. That's not a real beat.
Right.
So he put together a couple really incredible beats that I ended up recording a song called Bounce On and Drop Bass and I Keep Calling. And we recorded it in the radio station at first, and it was awful because we're not engineers. And then eventually, our guy Mig, who was like the head DJ, hip hop DJ at that radio station, who took me on and let me be part of his show, he said he wants to start a record label and he would be down to put out a nonprofit single through Fat Beats, because we had connections with DJ Eclipse, who was originally from Rhode Island. So we recorded it in a real studio. I ended up moving to Brooklyn and packaging all the 12 inches in the Fat Beats back room to mail out to all radio stations. So that was the first nonprofits thing, which didn't really pop off at first. But then my mixtape got very big and people started catching on to the nonprofit stuff. And this was this era of hip hop was all about 12-inch singles and college radio. So it was very important to me that we get out a single before the year 2000. Like that was my goal. I was like, I want to be on vinyl before, the turn of the century. So after that, we recorded another single called All Word, No Play, which had Whoremonger as the B-side. Whoremonger was the bigger song at the time because it had a sing-along chorus that the crowds could really get into. It was very flippant as far as material is concerned. It was just goofy and fun. Like that was supposed to be the whole nonprofits thing. Punchline rap, fun rap, weird, like irreverent stuff.
Has its quirks.
Yeah. And just underground white boy psycho shit sometimes. So yeah, Joe kept building his skill set. We decided to try to do an album. A couple different labels had like sniffed around. Eventually Lex Records, actually Warp Records from the UK, hit us up saying they wanted to put out a nonprofits album. But first I decided to do a Sage Francis album because I didn't want my whole identity to be wrapped up in the nonprofit sound. The nonprofit sound was like a throwback hip hop sound. The Sage Francis material was supposed to be a more progressive, we're moving on to the next thing. So I was like living in both worlds at the time. Anyway, Lex signed us. I don't remember what kind of advance they gave, but I was lacing them. Warp Records, not Lex. So Lex became a subsidiary label of Warp, which was a surprise to me after we had like figured out our stuff. But so Lex was a startup label, subsidiary label, and I was lacing them with tracks. And when I would go to the UK, I would record out there and they would just put out things on compilation CDs and vinyl. And then we did the Hope album for Lex.
But on Personal Journals, though, he produced Runaways, right?
Right. So I wanted the last song of Personal Journals to be a Joey Beats production to introduce the follow-up album, which was the Hope album.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So that's why I did that. Like he was a little bit miffed about like having to like wait to do the nonprofit stuff, but I think it all played out perfectly the way it did. And he was also not touring at the time. He didn't play anything live. And he kept trying to figure out ways of like being involved on stage. But I was touring relentlessly, and I wasn't not about to bring an extra person on tour with me just cause. And that may have like frustrated him as well. Anyway, so we did the Hope album on Lex. It blew up. It like got like incredible reviews. It was on a short list on Pitchfork.
Complex called it like the 28th best underground hip hop album ever out of 30.
Yeah, and it's a dope album. It's his production's awesome. What really helps the overall sound of the album is the engineer. His name's Chris Warren, who I worked with on several albums, and he just makes things sound so damn good.
Right. He gets all your little nuances and everything like that.
He's just like got an ear for like the magical sound that like elevates music.
You went to his studio in San Diego, right? They gave him a blank check to
So he's a music or a sound professor at University of San Francisco, and you get a blank check to build his own floating studio.
San Francisco or San Diego?
San Diego.
Right.
So it was like a spaceship. I can't really explain what that was all like, but he's still like exploring really crazy stuff in the realm of sound science. Mm-hmm. So that did well. We toured on that. I brought him on tour for that. That was a tough tour. That was a very tough tour. In fact, I thought I was ready to quit everything after that tour.
Why is that?
About 3/4 of the way through the tour, I really messed up my vocal cords. I had a nodule and polyps, and I couldn't actually speak. And I had to go to a doctor, and they checked my throat, and they were like, if you keep doing this, you're going to lose your voice forever. And I was just exhausted. I had to take a day off to like rest my voice. I was like, of course I'm going to finish the tour. Like, there's no way I'm not going to finish this tour. I just had to fight through it, which is dumb, but I did it. I did it like that. But there's a billion things that went wrong on that tour that were not of my doing. And that frustrated me because I run a tight ship. And there was things that happened with Joe Beats that I let him know I don't know if I said it out loud. In my head, definitely was like, I am never doing anything with you ever again. I don't like rock with this kind of person. I don't I don't feel comfortable around you. It's not what I want to do. And I won't give specifics. It's just, that's how I ended up feeling. And if anyone can track him down and needs to get that story from him and he can explain himself, that's his story to tell, I guess. But that was it for me. And also that was it with Lex, because Lex did fuck all. Like, we put that record together. We got the praise. They didn't put out a fucking video. They didn't do like any extra work for it. They ended up putting out a single that like we had Doom on the flip side. No, on the A side. He did a beat. It wasn't even a rap. We could have gotten the rap, but we got the beat. That wasn't my decision. That was dumb. Anyway, yeah. So they never ended up pressing more vinyl or CDs. Like a great loss of money overall. Like an incredible amount of money could have been made on that album that just was left on the table just because they gave up on it. And they also knew I didn't fuck with them anymore. And I didn't like my interactions with them. And I spoke about it publicly. He told me to stop talking about it. Lex, the guy at Lex did. I didn't stop. And I was like, all these years later, this year, someone emailed me asking me about this guy at Lex, saying, yo, I'm an artist that was signed to Lex and they're fucking me over. And they gave me the breakdown. I was like, yep, well, good luck with that. This is like, I'm far removed from that situation. I couldn't believe it though.
Wasn't that so disappointing though for you? Like, I mean, like you guys had just made a classic album together, and then, but I guess that happens a lot, right? Where you work with somebody and it's magical in the studio or whatever, but maybe personally there's some differences.
There was personality differences, very like we just didn't get along. I could not vibe with the cat. There's certain people like that where like, I don't want to speak on it in specifics because then I'm going to call them out for shit that might sound degrading, but it's not, we're not the same kind of person. And the people I work with in music are very different. And they're like that. Like I build my community with a certain type of person that I trust. And I think I can always trust. So with him, he also gave me weird ultimatums and I wasn't down with that. He's like, he had apparently produced a whole other album's worth of beats. And he was like, I'll only give it to you if you promise to like do one more project with me or something like that. I can't even remember. I just remember being so infuriated at how he approached that. I was like, no, fuck you. Like, we're never doing shit ever again. And good luck. Like, you're free. Like, go ahead, work with anybody else you want. There's a reason. All these years later, as talented as he is, there's a reason why he's not putting out like stellar albums with other MCs. So that's on him. Like he could have done that.
It's unfortunate too though, because he's from Rhode Island too, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then it's kind of like you guys were from the same place, made a classic album together. Ideally, you guys would continue to work together, but do you think that he felt some way that you made him wait to put out the Nonprofits album and he was afraid you were going to leave him behind once you started doing the solo thing?
Maybe, but that was a span of several years. That's from 1999 to 2004. And I had been touring the world since 1999. I started like traveling internationally since then and performing relentlessly. And he saw the work ethic that I had. It's all documented in older interviews. He admired it and he knew that he benefited from it. He knew that what I was doing, nothing was going to jump off without me doing everything that I was doing. It was reliant on my work ethic. So, had our situation been better, had we gotten along, there's no reconciling certain things. But in a parallel universe, yeah, that would have been cool. I don't know.
You could have definitely had more classic albums. Yeah, I totally understand though. I mean,
I don't know if I could have. I don't know how long I would want to keep doing that nonprofit sound. Like that to me, that was a concept project. That was that was a love letter to hip hop. The Hope album is my love letter to hip hop.
Well, did you make that clear to him that like you didn't want to continue to do that sound?
We did. No, that was his sound.
But that's what I mean though. Like you made it clear to him that like, hey, this is not like what I'm putting all my chips in for my career. Like this is what's going to be like my main thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, all I remember is like asking him if he could do a different type of production style. And I would show him something that's outside of like his realm. He's like, no, I don't do that. I'm like, all right. It really wasn't a conversation. A lot of it was business stuff. It wasn't about aesthetics, although I know I couldn't continue to do like Hope style music because I don't want to keep rapping like that. I liked to do that one thing. But business wise, he really fucked me over in a few ways. And that's personal finance and business relationship stuff between me, him, and Lex Records.
Yeah, for sure. I understand, man. But ideally, like you said, I mean, you could have at least did a sequel years down the line or something like that. That would have been cool. But yeah, for sure, I understand. Like that wasn't like what you wanted to build your sound off of long term.